There we go. Let me try to find the live here. There we go. YouTube has had all kinds of issues. Let me mute the desktop. Go from top chat to live chat. We'll set a small goal. Just going to set it for 30 minutes. Hi, Kathy Doherty. You're the first one here, my dear. Hi, Weird Wig. Hey, I've got to ask you something in a moment. Let me just set up the chat. Hey, Kathy X50. I've already got two Kathys here. Okay, I got the goal set up in the background. Let me just set it up on the screen that I'm recording on so that I can see all messages. You wouldn't believe the issues that are going on with YouTube. They're still having problems. They still haven't found the video. It's there on the desktop, but I can't see it mobilely, which means you guys probably can't see it mobilely, and it's not on the back end. And that was the one that in literally the time I was on the air, it hit 8,000 views, and then it jumped up to 20,000 views, and then something failed, and it got like hidden. And I could see it on my desktop computer, but I couldn't see it on my phone. And after 3 reps and waiting, 24 hours and waiting 72 hours, YouTube told me that they're having problems this week with the live streams. Like, you think? They still haven't fixed the missing super chat, and they referred me to Google, who just sent me a standard form mail, like a standard email that's just like almost like a robot talking like a script, like, yeah, we know how super chats are important, but they didn't address the problem. And I wrote them back like, huh? Like, how does this help me? And then they sent me another copy of the same email, like, yes, we understand how super chats are important to creators and blah, 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 blah. But I'm like, what? I give up on that point. Then my stickers, the wrong stickers, the ones that I didn't order twice, arrived yesterday. Took forever. So when they, told me that, oh, well, we can't cancel that order because it's already in production, it was like I never ordered it. I never approved either of them. But I thought, you know what, when I finally get them, if they're decent, maybe I'll just keep them, and then I'll have extras on top of the real ones that I ordered from another company. But the ones that arrived were the first logos that I said no. And then the second logo, I said no. But then I started thinking, you know what, this is such a pain, and I'll never see my money. And they've only refunded me 1 order and not 2. And I'll have to spend my own postage and my own labor and time. Like, maybe I'll just say F it and I'll keep them. But they were totally the wrong design. Like, this is not even the design we were working with. So now they've told me to send them back. They're sitting at my front door right now. There's a notice out of my lobby mailbox telling the mailman to come pick up the package. So now, in the meantime, the third order from the other company that I did order from, apparently they've been sitting in Miami for like a couple of weeks, but they're finally en route. So just to take care of a little housekeeping here. Hey, Sandra. Hey, Kathy Doherty. Let's see, I already said hi. Stringer 440. Leanne Rayner. We've got both Kathys. Hey, Will Byers. Thanks for those who came to the premiere I did earlier. A lot of people, once again, got confused and were in the comments thinking they were in the chat. Like, oh, you're live already. You're early today. Like, no, this is a premiere. Like, please swipe left to the chat. So, I don't know. There's only so many times I can tell everybody. Weird Wig, one quick thing before I start this, because this is really important, what I'm going to talk about today regarding Nancy Guthrie. This is super important. Weird Wig, I got another notification this morning from Amazon that another gift was purchased. So far, it's showing on my inventory, it's showing 3 of these, although I only have a notice for 2 of these, and it's not showing anything about the rabbit litter that you said that you ordered. It also never showed the tide, thus you mentioned that the inventory was still there. That's because Amazon didn't count that sale yet against that. I don't know what's going on, but apparently 3 of these are coming. So who knows? Maybe somebody else ordered one and I just didn't get the notices yet, but thank you. In a few days, I'll go over there and see what I've got. Stringer 440. Let's see. Who else has come in? Oh, Sandra Cosby, I saw you at the premiere. Thank you. I just came on the air. I haven't had a chance to go through the comments yet, but I'll get to that later. But yeah, that's not his real identity, just so you know. 3 are coming and other stuff. Okay. Oh my gosh. This wish list. And then somebody, was it you or was it somebody else? Somebody wrote me late last night and said, is there any way to donate where they don't take 70%? And I'm like, yeah, I have all the links on the main channel page, but I still do appreciate the donations during the lives because when, people are coming in and people are thumbs upping and people are sending the red hearts across the screen and they're commenting, they're participating, it kind of boosts the algorithm and it shows that people are interested in seeing the video. Hey, Kelsers, thanks for coming. I'm going to try to make this quick. This is something regarding Nancy Guthrie. I guess, what is it, day 145? I've lost track. We've pretty much concluded this week based on the new information that did leak. It wasn't intentionally put, it leaked. Somebody leaked the information about the notification about the death. And they're also referring to that as the second ransom, but that was not the second ransom because the first ransom was for the 4 million. The second ransom demand was for the 6 million. Both of those went to TMZ and local Tucson TV stations. Apparently this may have been, I thought it was an email, but now it's a possibility it was an actual letter. Something was sent to one news agency that said basically unapologetically that she accidentally died. And Savannah and family, they've known about that since February the 6th. They made that statement together on February the 7th. And I pretty much had already concluded by then that, yeah, she's gone and they know something. That wasn't supposed to leak, and that did leak. And everybody ran with it, including mainstream media. That forced Savannah earlier this week to make an appearance. Remember, she was wearing all black. I think the family has pretty much known all along that she was gone. And there was further confirmation of that when she and Tommaso and Annie went over to the house and Annie left the weird note about the burning embers or some weird stuff. No problem, Holly. Thanks for coming in. Kelser sent the first jewel of the day, the flower. Thank you. You know what? I saw, but I couldn't get over to the comments, Jay. Yeah, there was a couple people that came into the comments like, hey, you're early, I'm here, but I was like, everybody swipe left. You're not in the chat. Because that was just a premiere video. Hey, Elijah. Okay, you're going to behave today. Please behave today because I'm already, every time I see you, man, I get worried. And I know you're a channel supporter now, which I appreciate. But I never know which Elijah is going to show up. It's kind of like Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. Is the good Elijah going to show up or is the bad Elijah going to show up? So, just letting you know, Elijah, you behave. Because you know what will happen if you don't. But thank you when you do behave and you are supportive. I don't think so, man. Okay, I have been worried about this from the beginning of this because remember when this first happened and they announced that this was a missing person. They never said anything about an abduction, a kidnapping, a homicide. This was reported on Sunday night, February 1st, as the missing 84-year-old mother of Today Show co-host Savannah Guthrie. And I went, oh my God, the 84-year-old mom of Savannah Guthrie has been kidnapped. Just how Cameron reacted towards Savannah. And she said, do you think it's because of me? And, because he said, I think she's been kidnapped. And she said, do you think it's because of me? And then she was crying. And he said, yes, sweetie, because he's an intelligent man. Not because he's involved, but because he's intelligent. His sister is a famous person. She's a multimillionaire. The whole family have targets on their backs. And it is appearing to be a Fargo-like situation or similar to a JonBenet Ramsey situation where there was a plan. It wasn't a good plan. Things went wrong, and she died. They never had a chance to get that ransom. Okay? So now what do? Now they've got a body that they've got to get rid of. And remember, we don't know if all these yahoos that were at the house are just working together as a group, or they were hired workers, worker bees. Okay? Do we still have a puppet master? Now, these guys, if they were worker bees, they're still going to want to get paid. After all that they've been through, and they didn't get the prize, they didn't get the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow, someone in that group, if not everybody involved, is going to be pissed. And they may start taking each other out. They may start dropping dimes. There's a possibility that's already happened, and we just don't know about it yet, that the FBI knows something, that they're just waiting to make their move. Okay? But what has worried me, and I didn't want to say it, and I don't want to sound clickbaity in my title or in my thumbnail, and I certainly don't want Savannah to see this, although it probably would serve her well if she did. I am worried that because this was an unsuccessful operation and they didn't get their ransom, remember the FBI seeded the account with $152. First it was reported as $300. Now it's been reported as $152. That's the number everybody's going with now, that was seeded into the cryptocurrency account, into the wallet, but nobody claimed it. Okay? Nobody claimed it. They've made zero money off of this. And look at everything that's happened. And they had to deal with a death. Okay? They didn't get paid. They may be more in need of money now than they needed then. Exactly, 152 was an insult to them. So, Kathy, you're thinking what I'm thinking, and I didn't want to say this, and I've been thinking about this since the first week of February. And I've kept it to myself the entire time. But I have been worried that the rest of the family, whether it be Savannah, her husband, her kids, particularly her kids, either Savannah or the kids, that worries me the most. I do think that Annie and Tommaso are probably hiding because they're under threat, simply because 80% of the world thinks that they're involved, whether they are or they aren't. People don't care for them. And it may just be that they're weird. They may not be involved at all, just like Savannah, she doesn't believe they're involved. And either she's correct because she knows more about this than we do and she knows her family, or the other possibility, she's living in a complete dream world. And I hope that the family's not involved. But either way, no matter who did it, no matter who gets caught or doesn't get caught, they didn't get the money. Do you understand that? They didn't get paid. And this has caused all kinds of conflict within the group. And they targeted her for a reason. Revenge or money? Most likely money. Most likely the Savannah factor. Even if it was somebody close to her, they realized Savannah, she'll just pay the ransom. They put a lot of stuff on the line. They planned this for months. Some people may have left their jobs. This has cost them money to do this. They had to pay somebody to get her across the border if they snuck her across the border illegally, if that part of the story is even true. There's expenses in everything. There's time. Time is money. They didn't get the payoff. They don't have a penny. And if there is a ringleader, and he was supposed to pay all these guys, once the job was done, they didn't get their money. Maybe they got a small advance. Now that person that advanced the money, they're short. Somebody didn't get paid. Somebody's plural didn't get paid. And we don't know the motive, why they went after her to begin with. I do think it was for money, and she was an easy mark, and it was somebody with inside information who had all the ins and outs of that property. And that's what scares me, that it could be connected to somebody that she knows, because they had all the ins and outs of that property. but they didn't get the prize. We don't know. Wonder if this is some stalker, someone that's after Savannah. And this was the best they could do, and it failed. Well, she died, but I don't think the original intent was an unaliving. They then would have just gone into the house and unalived her and left. They wouldn't have taken a body with them. She was a living person when they took her out of that house, when they dragged her out of that house. Lady Shore, Marine, ex-FBI says her sources know and said they are getting closer to Porch Guy, just making sure all holds up in court. And so Marine also said up against best defense attorney. I've heard that. May be true and it may not be true. What happened to the son-in-law theory? Well, I can't say anything publicly here because I'm on a YouTube channel. You guys can say whatever you think, but I haven't named any suspects because everybody on my channel is innocent until proven guilty in a court of law. Nancy was kidnapped for Bitcoin, nothing else. Let the family rest. But it failed. They didn't get their Bitcoin. And as the other commenter here said, they were insulted. Weirdwig said that $152 was an insult. Yes, it was. That was stupid. You know, it's all or nothing. Proof of life, here's your money, or there's nothing. That was just dumb. It makes me have no faith in the FBI at this point either. That was just dumb, if that was true. There's an article that came out today, and it's about Savannah. And I doubt that she's actually participated in this article. This is just all, you know, them putting her thoughts out there in public. You know, they're just guessing that this is how she feels. But I think she does feel this way. And there is a real threat or a possible threat. And let me just read it. It says, Savannah Guthrie is worried the monsters who took missing Mom Nancy could strike again. Absolutely. And she should be worried about that. Savannah Guthrie is a total shell of herself. I agree with that too. As the search for her beloved mother Nancy prepares to enter its 5th month. And this was from InTouch magazine. So yeah, you know, it's not like, you know, the New York Times. This is InTouch. You only need to look at her to see how much she is suffering, the insider says of the broadcast journalist who confessed to close pal Jenna Bush Hager earlier this month that she cries every morning on the way to work and on the way back home. Yeah, I saw that on that TV show that she was on with Jenna. There are a lot of people in her world, both at work and within her friendship circle, who believe she has rushed back too soon. As InTouch previously reported, Savannah 54 broke into tears on the Tuesday, June 23rd episode of The Today Show after it was revealed that a second note sent to her and her family claimed that Nancy 84 had accidentally died in the midst of her abduction. Now, I've heard that it wasn't a second ransom, that it was actually a separate note from those first 2 ransoms. But, you know, they haven't been exactly clear on that. Of course, nobody could blame her for going with her gut and wanting to take her mind off this ordeal by throwing herself into what she loves most, notes the insider. There's no doubt it's been a cathartic for her, but there's the safety factor to consider here too. Absolutely. In the Monday, April 20th edition of Rob Shooter's Naughty But Nice Substack, a source revealed that security has been increased at NBC. Yeah, we heard that in April, in the wake of Savannah Mother's disappearance. She'll always be looking over her shoulder and worried about these monsters could strike again. An InTouch insider reveals. It's heartbreaking. Everyone just wants this nightmare to be over for Savannah so she can finally start to heal. Until then, she seems condemned to a lifetime of pain and misery, which is just indescribably awful for everyone to see. Now, it adds that people with any information regarding the case are asked to contact the FBI at 1-800-CALL-FBI. That's 1-800-CALL-FBI. You may also contact your local FBI office, the nearest American embassy or consulate, or you can submit a tip online. I think that's interesting the way they worded that. The nearest American embassy or consulate. That tells me something right there. I hadn't read that part before I came on the air. Jay, I haven't got to it on the screen yet, but I see it on the desktop. Jay coming in for the first super chat of the day. I need it. I only have 5 days left to get the totals up for June. What a way to tick them off, says Weirdwig. Oh, yeah, putting the $152 in? That was just asinine, excuse my language. Lady Shore, I felt they do know who it is. I really do. I think I know, so I just feel it strongly. I hope you're correct, Lady Shore. Sheriff in charge, remember that. Disgusted with him. Let's get this solved. Boston Bill, thanks for coming in. Oh, did you change your username just a little bit? The spelling? It's going to be a while before she's found at all. Yeah. Yeah, I'm getting less confident that they're actually going to find, physically find Nancy. Who have I missed here? If I missed you, I'm sorry. Just I had to get that out. I have been worried about that from day one. And I know that Savannah, because she works for the Today Show, she does have security provided for her. Hopefully there's a lot more of it now. I've heard that there is. Hopefully besides anything that the Today Show provides, that she does have her own security and PIs as well. Bemis says she's thinking the perpetrator is dead. Do you mean the front porch guy? Because there's definitely more than one person involved here, in my humble opinion. And I don't think they're all dead. And I'm thinking, 2 to 4. More likely 3 at the house, but we don't know if those yahoos were working under a puppet master. Okay, so you mean front porch guy. Okay. I don't know. I really don't know. So much has happened this week that confirms a lot of things that I already believed. It still doesn't change my mind on who I think front porch guy could be. Not that I know 100% that that's him, but the person that I originally had in mind, I still have him as a suspect involved in this case. He may not be the one under the mask, but I do think the man that I've kind of had my eye on may be involved. One of the ransom notes saved Hey, computer girl. I also think she was dropped off at a different house in her neighborhood. Yeah, she could be very close to home. The Mexico theory could be complete BS, but maybe it's not. Remember, we're dealing with criminals. We can't believe everything that these notes say. But I do believe that she did pass, whether it was at the hands of the kidnappers or it happened indirectly because of, them doing what they did. And, they didn't take her meds. And even if they had, she could have easily died of a heart attack just from the fear. I don't think I would survive. And I'm young enough to be Nancy's daughter. With my health issues, I don't think I would survive. And even if I did, mentally, would you ever get over something like that? Would you ever be able to, live again in that house and have a normal life again? No. Remember, someone in my immediate family, that happened to them, but, decades, before I was born. And those people never got over it. Bemis, I just can't believe the FBI can't trace those emails and have more information. I know, that really bothers me because there is no privacy in the world anymore. That's why, non-criminals would never dare to do something like that because they know they would get caught. Like the average intelligent person knows, like, oh, I couldn't do this or I'd get caught. You always get caught. Like, there's no privacy anymore. And I don't think that these were sophisticated people, especially the people that were at the house. Now, maybe the people leading the operation, if there is a puppet master or puppet masters plural, maybe those people are quite intelligent. But I don't think these guys that did the job were that smart. Since it was not planned that she was gone, they were not prepared for a body to get rid of. They aren't going to drive her all around. Exactly. They would be in a panic and they would get rid of it immediately. Moving up. Oh, I'm sorry, you're still in the hospital. We're just talking about the security concerns of the rest of the Guthrie family now that, this is still not resolved and whoever the perpetrators were didn't get paid. I think it is time, Deb. She says, there are pieces to the story that need to come to light. It's been the most craziest. Sheriff knows where she is. He's a weirdo. I don't trust him. Even at the beginning, they know who it is. Maybe they do, and they're just trying to get more information. But, I said it the other day, and I'm going to say it without cursing here because I don't want to get in trouble with YouTube, but it's time to crap or get off the pot. You can't just drag this out any longer. You got to strike while the fire is hot, and you've got to get the first domino to fall, or the first bird to sing, so to speak. It's time to make a move. And it's going to be hard to prosecute because the scene was so compromised. July says exactly they know, but we will never know. I think there's too much pressure. I think we will. Now, will we find Nancy? Those chances are getting slimmer to none. Nunya. Hello, welcome in. Where are you coming in from? Yeah, and I'm not going to drag this one out today. I've already did a premiere today on another, I did a long form video. Maybe the move will be made very soon. I hope so, Suzanne. I hope so. There's the word is that they're getting close, but we don't know if that's true. And Weirdwig, if you're still here, thank you so much for these glasses because they actually are tinted so that when I'm on a computer screen, it helps. And so I wear them specifically just to do these shows now. And I desperately needed some type of glasses that protected my eyes during these broadcasts. So thank you. Yeah, I put on a different pair today. See? I love them. I should have ordered these years ago. They will stretch their clothes for 3 months. You mean 3 more months? Thank you, V-Miss. She said the glasses look nice. That's like a horseshoe. What, the driveway? Joe Wells. Hold on for a minute, Joe Wells. Wilson Dallas Helicopter. You've been so supportive this week. Coming in with the Canadian $2 super chat. Let me bring it up on my screen so I can heart it. Joe Wells. Hi, April. Thanks for your hard work. I've always thought that the sheriff dum-dum is holding things up on purpose. You got to wonder at this time. If I didn't have a stash of glasses, I'd order some, They're really nice. You'd enjoy them. If you're on the screen a lot, they're really good. Suzanne, the glasses do look nice. Good choice. Absolutely. I didn't think anybody would order those. And, I've been waiting since the start for somebody to order these, and now supposedly there's 3. So let me know, did you order 3? Because I got a notice last night for 1, and I got another notice for 1, but the inventory on the store says 3. And I'm like, well, how did that happen? And I don't see any notice about, is it true that you ordered the bunny stuff too? Because I'll make sure not to order another bag of litter if that's coming. Yeah, prime time. Okay. It's weird that the store it's not giving me all the notices lately. You did too. Okay, wow. Then we're set for litter for a while. And we're definitely set on the tide for a while. Mostly Dallas Helicopters coming in with the membership emojis. Thank you so much. So today I spent my time working on the sticker problem again. That's going to drag out forever. In the meantime, I'm supposed to get the other stickers from Miami. They're supposed to be coming by Monday. If I do get them on Monday, before I do a show, I'll be able to show them to you, and I'll pop those up on eBay, and I'll pop those up on Whatnot. And then if you guys aren't already on Whatnot, go sign up for it, and they'll give you $15 if you use my code. But you have to use my code, and then you can just buy 3 of them for free. Now, they will charge you a small shipping fee, but they have a real small sticker envelope. I think it's like 78 cents or something. And it's not trackable like the packages, but it'll get to you eventually. So I'll have to check that out once I get them. Okay, thank you, Weirdwig, and thank you so much. You've done so much just in the last 24 hours. That's incredible. I really appreciate it. Everything Every bit helps. So thanks for coming, Weird Wig. I'll see you next time. 65 people in the room, only 26 thumbs up. I also followed up today with the oncology office, and I explained, like, well, I talked to you Monday, and this problem I've been trying to straighten out since January, February was going to be straightened out in 24 hours, and I never heard back. And they're like, okay, we'll leave a message. And I'm like, do I give up and just not go get my cancer testing this year and just say, well, F it, skip it, because I don't have an order from a doctor? Do I spend money to go into an urgent care full of sick people to say, hey, I didn't get my order from my oncologist, but can you give it to me because I got to go get this test? I can't afford to pay for it on my own. What do I do? So, there's enough stress just involving that test that it's coming up, and that I have to worry about, just the PTSD of walking into that place. Just going to that building, going into that office, and literally feeling physically ill before I get there, and while I'm there, and when I'm driving home, and almost not being able to drive. That's weighing on the back of my head. But, I shouldn't have to fight just to get the order. I should just get it and schedule the appointment and not think about it until 5 minutes before I have to drive there, and it's done. And, then wait the excruciating, week to get the test results back. Very stressful. Everybody, take care of yourself. Go get everything done early, even if you have to pay for it out of pocket, so that you never have to deal with advanced cancer, because you'll be dealing with it for the rest of your life. Woulda, coulda, shoulda. I always try to take care of myself, but you can only do so much. Put those babies away. What are you talking about? What are we talking about? Thank you for the star, Mostly Dolls Helicopters. Okay, Howard, come back tomorrow. Seen you before. And of course, I couldn't see the 100 that Mostly Dolls Helicopters just sent because I was busy taking out that troll. Howard, you made me miss my jewel. Luckily, they send me the little notice that says sent 100, but the smaller ones, they just pop up really quick. So, sorry I didn't see that. The success of YouTube. And I still don't consider myself successful. I got more viewers and more watchers than I had before, and I'm monetized again. So I guess I should say, the joys and pitfalls of monetization. But thank you. Do I think the mob is involved? Not a bit. Which mob are you talking about? Do you mean the Mexican drug cartel? Do you mean some of the local mobs that all cities do have? What about the Italian mob? It's funny you should say that, considering that Tommaso's from Italy, but I never thought that. But, we don't know what he's involved in, do we? That's a good point, Kelsers. I never thought of that. Seriously. There was another mob that I was thinking, because there was somebody that I think is involved in this that was connected to a business that's connected to another mob, not Italy, but another mob, and I won't even go into it. And I thought, because I talked about some of the businesses in all cities, that not all businesses are legit, and sometimes they're fronts for other things, especially in cities that have close proximity to a border, like Mexico. There are a lot of, businesses where, they might really sell, let's say sofas, but that's not why they're really there. They're there to launder money because of things going to or from the border. And there is a business like that that's involved, or not that the business involved, but there is a business in Tucson that's sketch, that's connected to a known mob. And one of the many, 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 many characters in this three-ring circus or soap opera had a connection years ago to that place. And I went, there's some sketch stuff going on there. But is that connected to the Nancy Guthrie case? I don't know. But that's a good point, Kelsers. Thank you for that's. You're very intelligent. You've made a lot of very intelligent comments here. Analytical mind like me. But I had not even thought of that. So wow. Yeah, I never thought about that. Especially with the rumors that they're in Italy. Like, where's Annie and Tommaso? And I'm still not saying that they're involved. I've never named anybody as a suspect. I think they're strange. And I don't think that the sisters, like Savannah and Annie, are as close as they're making the world believe. Another YouTuber brought it out, and now everybody's running with it, that when Annie and Tommaso and Savannah went to the house, and I knew then that they already knew she was gone, and Savannah was getting ready to go back to New York, and she left like the next day or was home the next day. They made that final, let's all put our arms around each other, where, if you notice, Tommaso kind of slipped the hand down on Savannah's behind, but we won't get into that. Annie left that weird note about the burning embers, and it was signed Annie, Tommaso, and Omo. And apparently that's like a nickname for their kid, Omo. Because I heard what his name was, but I wouldn't say it here because he's a minor, but I guess his nickname is Omo. So it was signed Annie, Tommaso, and Omo. But Savannah's name wasn't on that card. That was just weird. And it may be nothing, but it just seems... And the signature looked different than the person that wrote the card. That was weird too. Destiny. I doubt the same mob that was so organized they had to invest new laws to catch them would be involved in this. Yeah, I kind of am not like high on any mob theories or cartel theories at this moment. Hide her babies. Oh, do you mean Savannah? Because you said that earlier, and I was like, huh, what are you talking about? I am on a green screen, no, I'm sitting at my desk in Los Angeles, but that is a green screen photograph of the Nancy Guthrie home in Tucson, Arizona. I get that question a lot. They will make those babies a terrible example. Who are we talking about, Kathy? Please enlighten the chat. I have no idea who you're talking about. Are we talking about Savannah's kids? Are we talking about Annie's son? Who are we talking about? Maybe I missed a comment. It's been me asking you that for the past few weeks, messing with you. Oh, okay. Yeah, if you'd like to, Kathy, please, tell me who we're talking about here. Because we are talking about the safety of the Guthrie family. And, is this really over? I mean, remember, we don't have Nancy. We have nobody arrested yet. People were briefly detained and let go, other than Derek Colella, who's been arrested federally, speaking for the text ransoms. We don't have anybody behind bars or with any court dates coming up on the actual disappearance of Nancy Guthrie. Nobody directly related. That's a fell. Isn't it true that Tommaso dropped off Nancy and didn't walk her to the door? That's what we're hearing. Just watched her go through the garage. Why not walk her to the door? That's what we're hearing. But, we're hearing a lot of bits and pieces, and some of it's not true and some of it's contradictory. Thank you, Kathy. She says, thank you for all that you have covered. I just want to keep it relevant. I'm also hearing things, and I don't know if this is true, that Savannah's very upset now. And I'm not talking about the actual kidnapping and loss of her mother, but that she's upset with the YouTubers in the neighborhood, and people are blaming her, that she was the one that, got the police involved and got the YouTubers arrested. And that breaks my heart if that's true. But I don't really think that that's true. Now, the arrest that happened across the street with the guy, Alex, it may have been a little rough, but I wish he had not resisted. And I wish he hadn't thrown out homophobic slurs to the officers. I don't think his case is going to bode well. Now, hopefully, with the juice just having a foot on the pavement, hopefully he doesn't get a racist judge. I don't know. Things are out of control. This whole thing is a circus. We need to find Nancy. Let's go back to square one. The who, what, when, where, why, and how. Let's get this case rolling through the justice system. Yeah, we still don't know the motive, and we don't know the who or where these people are. They didn't get paid. Remember, the Ramseys had a few security issues over the years, and some many years later, after the death of their daughter. Things that were unexplained, things that made me go, whoa, like something's still up. And even John Ramsey, he still got some calls from a guy claiming he needed money for a plane ticket so he could come to Boulder and confess. But yet that person knew a lot of things about the inside of that house. But remember, Patsy Ramsey, she had that house open for the Boulder tour of homes at Christmas time. Now, I know we're not talking about the JonBenet Ramsey case, but I'm just trying to make comparisons here that we still don't know what happened here as far as this case is concerned. This is still an active, open criminal investigation. Moving Up says they will make a movie out of this in due time. Probably. It's too early at this point because we don't know what happened. But yeah, somebody will try to profit off of it. I hear my rabbit. What is she doing? Bunny? She's digging a hole. But she's in her own little house, so that's okay. It's just annoying. I think she needs a chew stick. Kelsa says, I just find it hard to believe that we have nothing new. I wish the FBI would at least do a press conference or something. I know, right? That's not going to happen. And even if the police, like the sheriff's department, gave a press conference, you can't believe anything they say at this point. So they should, as Nancy Grace said, just shut your pie hole, Sheriff Nanos. Husafeld, the door ring camera guy was fully covered up to keep from identifying him. Do we try to cover up the ring camera? Why to try to cover up the ring camera with twigs? I still don't understand that. There's a lot about this case that I don't understand. This is still, even though it's probably going to go back to square one in the most simplest of explanations, this is still a weird case. Kidnappers don't spend 41 minutes in a house. They just don't. And wonder if all these notes, including the death confession note, wonder if these are all red herrings. Amelia? Amelia Kinsley, bunny? She's mad. She's trying to get my attention. I may need to get up and go get her an apple chew stick or something that she can gnaw on. Leanne Rayner, YouTubers definitely think that Savannah is responsible. Chris McDonough said that Alex had every right to resist because it was an ill. No, you never have the right to resist arrest. Even if it's bogus, you just put your arms out, let them cuff you, and say thank you very much, and quietly go to the police station. That guy is his own worst enemy. Yeah, that Ring doorbell, or it was a Nest Cam, that the whole thing just doesn't make sense. I think they thought everything had been deactivated, and then that was on a battery, and they could see it like activate in the dark, because sometimes like there'll be like a little red dot, and they went, oops, Nanos needs to resign. Chat, you need to hold on. I'm going to go get my bunny a couple of wood apple chew sticks. Hey, bunny. Here you go. Here you go. Here's your sticks. There you go. You could chew that. Yeah, bunnies need to constantly chew because their teeth never stop growing. Respect and importance sent the gift. I almost missed it because I was coming back to my desk. Thank you for the thumbs up. And welcome in. Nice to see you. So yeah, I would be worried too if I were Savannah. If I was Savannah and I was in her shoes, I would never be able to have peace. But that's something that she's kind of used to, being a celebrity and having threats. And believe me, celebrities have threats every single day, for the most part. But I don't think she ever anticipated something like this was going to happen, because if she did, that lady or the mother would not have been living alone in that house. Or she would have had like 24-hour, armed security and a guard check at the end of the driveway and a big gate around the place, and, outer, middle, and, inner, middle, and outer perimeter infrared security. And, we don't know that she didn't, but obviously nobody got tipped off that somebody was there. We don't know what systems were within the home, which I'm hearing that there were some, but they may have been disabled. I think they all felt that she was safe there. Remember, Savannah, she's a reporter. She's a lawyer. She's a broadcast journalist. She's not a police officer, an FBI agent, or a private investigator. She's on the victim end. She's not on the security end. Somebody like me, had I, been her neighbor and known that she was there alone, I would have been worried about her. I would have kind of expected, like, something might happen someday. Because I've dealt with, very similar things with very important people in the entertainment industry where, everybody from the mom to the kids to everybody's like a target. Wow, you've come back again, but you're going on a timeout. See you tomorrow. Wish I could order glasses over the counter, 2400 plus vision, astigmatism bad. That's exactly what I had. But I did have lens replacement surgery. Gelsers sent the chili. Yeah, CVS does have nice glasses, but they're kind of expensive. They're like $20 for the readers. But I do like the CVS glasses. But these Amazon glasses, these are the best. These are bomb. And it was less money to get 4 pairs of these than it would be to get 1 pair at CVS that wouldn't have the computer screen protection. So that was a good buy. Oh, it was a nice gift. $53 people in the room, 39 thumbs up. Can we see the thumbs up? I checked my channel dashboard today, and when I woke up, it was at 3502. But then, or 3503, like I hit the 3500 mark last night, like yay. But then it went down a notch. Now I'm at 3504. But that's normal. Like when you get up to this many subs, it's still a small amount, but when you get up into the thousands, that you're going to gain some and you're going to lose a couple each day. As long as the graph still goes, in an upward position, I'm not worried about it. That's totally normal. So I'm at 3504. How soon can we get it to 4,000? Any guesses? Kathy, I'm not seeing your emojis. I'm just seeing where it says detective and it says bunny and cat, but they're not showing up on my screen. That's really strange. That's very strange. Now my screen is, see, it starts flashing at me and it just distracts me. It says start another goal. That's so weird. Okay, 15 minutes. You know, YouTube has been having all kinds of issues. And you know, that video that I'm missing, and I can see it on my desktop computer. If I go to my YouTube channel, I can see it. Let me bring it up. And then I'll ask you guys in the chat if you guys can see it if you're on a mobile device. Like, you don't need to do it now because I don't want you to have to sign out the video. But I have a video that's showing up on the desktop on the main channel page that says, is this the getaway driver in the Nancy Guthrie case? That's the one that hit 20K in a matter of hours. And then it just disappeared on the back end. And I still can't see it on my cell phone, but I can see it on my desktop. But you know, most people that watch YouTube now, the majority of viewers actually watch on a mobile device. So then it just tanked. And now it's too late for me to release my live highlights of that. They still haven't straightened it out. It'll probably never show up again. YouTube, I'm very disappointed in you this week. And I mean, I know with, you know, millions of users and, you know, there's probably like 1 billion people watching, that things are going to happen, that things are not going to be perfect. But, you know, I had to contact 3 different reps before somebody finally admitted, like, oh, yeah, there's a known issue this week with the live streams. Like, you think? Do you think? Like, I might have 3,000 people come in during a chat, and then when I sign off, it'll say, you had, you know, 67 views, or like, huh? You know, but then I'll go to the back end at the computer, and it's like, oh, you had 3,000 views. Like, they're all messed up. We have another knucklehead. Goodbye. See you. So yeah, there's a lot of issues, people. And one of the YouTubers that I occasionally watch, he was doing a video and he just got cut off. And that happened to me last week too. Like, it just got cut off. And I thought, oh, did I do something? Did I say something wrong? And they just like knocked me off the air. But no, because they would have sent me like a security notice through the email saying, oh, you did a bad thing. But that happened to the other guy. And he's always been talking about the Nancy Guthrie case. I mean, he talks about other cases too, but he's more specifically true crime. And he's a really big YouTuber, like way bigger than me. Very popular, lots of subscribers. Gets a lot of money during a chat. Like, he's big. And one of his videos just cut off, and then he was, like, I guess off the air for a couple of days. And he said that he mentioned a pew pew, or he showed it. He showed it in his, like, I think he's running off of either OBS or he's on StreamYard, something like that. He's not doing vertical like I'm doing, because he's big enough, or he can do a horizontal, but he's got like all this pop-ups in the background. So it's either got to be OBS or something like StreamYard. And I guess in one of the pop-ups that he showed a video, it showed Front Porch Guy, and it showed his pew pew, also known as his boom boom. And they suspended him for 24 hours. And he's telling all the YouTubers that are reporting on the Nancy Guthrie case, like, be really careful of what you show in a video or in the thumbnail. And I was like, geez, like, you know, I'm very careful that I don't use certain words, but like, dang, you know. And he said, you know, he doesn't think anybody dropped a dime on him, but he thinks that the YouTube AI, that they caught it. But it was right in the middle of his live, and he just like he was talking to the screen. And that happened to me last week, but it wasn't a YouTube thing. It was just like they were having problems. Like, I didn't do anything wrong, you guys didn't do anything wrong, and all of a sudden I noticed that the numbers were going down, and you know, like hardly anybody was responding to me, and I was like, I think we lost the chat. You know? But he did, and it was intentional, because AI got him in the middle of a chat. So he's telling everybody, don't show a pew pew. And I'm like, wow, I'm glad I saw that, because I don't typically watch the other YouTubers. I'm getting so many of you guys that are sending me private emails saying, watch this, see this. And I just don't have the time. Like yesterday's videos or emails, I haven't even answered them yet. I haven't even got to them. I'm just, it was 8 o'clock at night and I'm like, I still haven't had anything to eat today. Like, do people realize, like, even after I close out a show, there's a lot of work that I then have to do on the back end. There's just not enough time in my day to get to all the emails and, um, and I appreciate everybody that's reaching out and wants to be, friends, but, for my security, I don't give out my home address or my phone number or anything like that. Um, Roger Forever. Yes, I had a pew pew mounted on the wall as a keepsake. TikTok suspended me for a day. Yeah. Yeah, that happened to one of the big YouTubers that was reporting on the Nancy Guthrie case. And he's got a good channel. I like him. He's done some really good interviews. But I was watching him last night while I was explaining all this, and he was behind because he hadn't been on the air a couple days because he was suspended for 24 hours. And when he got it back, he said it was too late at night. So he had missed 2 days. And everybody was talking about the letter, the death letter, and that the FBI had said to Harvey Levin that they thought um, that the writer of the third set of letters might be a female, but he misunderstood that. And he thought that they were saying the FBI had said that they thought Front Porch Guy was a female. And then he was starting to go off on that. And I'm like, oh, okay, he's like really behind now because the FBI never said that Front Porch Guy was a female. They said that the writer or writers plural of the third set of ransoms because there was approximately a dozen. And those weren't the original two, nor was that the death letter, nor was that the text ransoms. That was the next person, the next Yahoo in this three-ring circus that came in saying, I want 50,000, I want 1 Bitcoin. Okay, I'll take a half a Bitcoin, be prepared to go international. They think that the writer of those could be a female. But he was behind and he was behind the curve, just like I was the other day when someone was trying to tell me about the other letter. And I'm like, what? Like, I didn't understand because something had come out like right when I was on the air or right before I got on the air. So then I had to go back and make another video. But at that point, I just like, okay, I can't watch it anymore because maybe his audience corrected him to tell him, like, no, they're not talking about Front Porch Guy. They're talking about the person that wrote the third set of ransoms. They think a female is behind it. And that could be. It could be like the wife, girlfriend, or significant other of one of the Yahoos involved. Mostly Dolls Helicopters coming in with the pumpkin emojis. Margaret, thank you for coming in. Good to see you. Jane Rice, nice shirt. Yeah, this is the Free Twins jersey. And speaking of the baseball mail, the last letter was received postmarked May 26th from the Tampa Bay Rays. It's gone radio silent. I kind of surprised at that because of the amount of baseball mail that came in. And I sent these letters at the end of February. Like the season was, spring training had happened, but the season hadn't started yet. And I got like probably 8 or 9 teams, maybe 8 that responded. There's 30 baseball teams. Everything just went silent. So maybe all these teams are broke now, and there will be a shutdown for the whole year next year. Who knows? Let's see. Destiny. I got y'all beat. I have a tattoo, one on my leg, and I wore shorts and was suspended for brandishing weapons. Yeah. Jeez. YouTubers will solve before the police. I'm thinking so, Jay. Yeah, because I look back on some of my thumbnails and I was like, I might have to make a few changes to some older thumbnails. But I don't think I've ever shown a pew-pew in my videos. I hope not. Kathy says, maybe I've watched too many detective shows. Yeah, so if you are a YouTuber and you're watching this right now, be like super careful. Oh, I've got to take out another troll. Oh boy. Doesn't bother me. It distracts me from the chat and all you good people that have come in to watch and hear the latest. So somebody, this magazine, InTouch, you know, they're probably just trying to get people to see their article, but they did bring up a point that I've wanted to bring up from the first week, but I was afraid to say it. Oh, thank you. Mostly Dolls Helicopters sent the 100 jewels. Yeah, we're up to like 33 cents today in jewels. Isn't that cool? But you know what? All those penny jewels, they do add up, in a month. They do add up to, you know, um, not a lot of money, but enough to really, make a difference. Um, So this article I read earlier, Savannah Guthrie is worried the monsters who took missing Mom Nancy could strike again. Now, I don't think they got that information from Savannah. I think this is just it's a common sense kind of thing. Put yourself into Savannah's shoes. No, she would not like a grass chew stick. I'll put the apple ones up on the page because the ones that look like it's like the grass or it's like the hay that's all smashed together. She won't chew on them. She'll eat them, and then she goes into stomach stasis. So I have to be really careful. I want her to chew like the skin off, but I don't want her to actually eat them. She's supposed to. The ones that she chews are great. The ones that she eats, bad idea. Destiny Lynn. But I will update the store on that. I was thinking about that the other night because I'm almost out of those. I need to put some bunny chew sticks up. And I don't know if anybody will buy them, but I should at least put them up there. Destiny Lynn, I never think about my leg anymore, but I won't wear shorts online anymore. Wow. That's crazy. Oh my God. Yeah, I'm like really careful what I say here. Now, a couple times I have, you guys who are here, my regulars, you do know that at times I have lost my temper. I think the last time I lost my temper was with Blake Trinan of the Dodgers. And I know this isn't a baseball channel, but I'm a big baseball fan and I, you know, bleed Dodger blue. And there was something quite controversial that happened yesterday that all of baseball was talking about. So if you are a baseball fan, go put, go Google Dodgers, and see what's going on because it's absolutely sickening. There's a couple of people that I don't think are with the program, and um, even if it hurts the overall performance of the team, I think there's a couple people that have to go. Um, I'm not in Arizona. I'm in Los Angeles. Jason Smith says, in Arizona, do you guys have any breeding wolf population? That's a good question. I don't know. Uh, oh, what did I miss? Jay says, then keep mouth shut and call a lawyer. Who? uh, April, you will solve the case before police. Well, I still have in my computer files, I do have a copy of my 8-page letter. And if this ever all comes out, and I'm going to be very hesitant to say anything, even if somebody is arrested, because that doesn't mean that they're guilty. And so, you love the baseball talk. Well, thank you, Nathan. Send the Dodgers a letter and tell them to send Blake Trinan. Well, no, send our catcher, our backup, who's now our primary because of injuries. Send Dalton Rushing to the New York Mets for a catcher that can't hit, Ben Workvet, and put Blake Trinan in the deal. Just screw them both. Because sometimes things are not about win or losses in baseball and in professional sports. It's not just about the wins and the losses. You have to think about the moral actions and characters of some of these players. And the Dodgers have always been a family-oriented organization, and they're inclusive to everybody, and they celebrate being inclusive to everybody. And And sometimes when certain people just aren't with the program, you have to move on from those people, because it's really more about, it's more than just baseball at a certain point. And there's been 2 major issues this year. And, one person is a chronic a-hole and always has been, and he's needed to be gone for years. And now they've got a really big problem that they didn't anticipate with their backup catcher. Detroit Tigers are yours, says Kathy Doherty. $1.2 million reward could get you out of medical debt. Yes, it could. But you know what? I think if you don't know where the body is and you don't have a tip, even though I'm telling them that this person is involved, if it turns out that that person is involved, I don't expect to see a penny of that reward. Hey, Donna McCoy, my friend. Oh, Donna, I have a question, and you guys in the chat, just give me a moment. Donna, I know that you are one of the many viewers, as myself is, with the Humble Stacker. I do have to ask you, and if Humble's listening, please don't be upset with me, Humble, but I have to ask Donna, did you receive your package? Because I know he did a big package mail out, and I still haven't received my package from May the 10th. And he claimed that he sent them, he packaged everything with his daughter a week ago Saturday, and he sent them out on his day off because he had to go to the post office. He had so many. Did you ever receive a package? And were you expecting a package? Because I never did get my prize for May the 10th. And I did send him all the emails that he requested with the correct address and what I won, and I haven't received a thing. And I've contributed a lot to his channel financially, and I'm just, unless a package shows up in the next couple days, I'm kind of done with them. No, he's sending mine. I think he's got something special done for me. And I never said anything about the whatnot packages when I didn't get the things that I ordered. Or he said, oh, I'm going to add this as well, and there was nothing added. Or I never said a word, but I guess apparently some other people did, and that's how he lost his whatnot account, is what I'm guessing. And I think he self-admits that he sucks with packaging, and some people, that's just not their thing. And I know he's a very busy man with a full-time job, a full-time YouTube channel, and 3 kids, but to be bringing people in because you're going to give away nightly prizes and then never sending those prizes, I wouldn't say anything. I'm never going to report them, but I was thinking of doing a contest back in 2025 when I released that video about the same guy I released today, that Clyde Allen Green. I thought maybe we could do a contest about this, but then I was like, no, I don't want to do anything that'll get me in trouble with YouTube. That's why when I get my stickers, because it's been a nightmare to get my stickers, when I finally get it straightened out, I'm not going to sell them directly. Like, I'm not going to ask people to send me money and I'll send them a sticker. No, they're going to go on my whatnot and they're going to go on my eBay, and that's it. Nathan, who knows a lot about baseball. Dalton Rushing is a hothead. Dodgers need to trade him and his bad energy. Absolutely. You never argue with the #1 player in the world. Not just the world currently, but the #1 player that's ever played the game of baseball since they've been keeping records since the late 1800s, and that would be Mr. Shohei Ohtani. And you do like this, you're out of there. You're absolutely out of there. You're a detriment to the team, as is Blake Trinan. And except for when Blake Trinan has been injured, he's a terrific pitcher. But I don't care. Even if we don't win the next World Series, I'd rather lose the next World Series or not get there than to get there and have an a-hole like Blake Trinan and Dalton Rushing. They both got to go. They got to go. Even with Will Smith being down, they have to go. Sometimes things are bigger than baseball. Maggie, Cardinals, Evansville, home of New York Yankee Don Mattingly and Cardinal Andy Benedetto. Okay, I don't know who Andy Benedetto is, but I do know who Don Mattingly is. And he just got appointed today by Dave Roberts as an honorary coach for the All-Star game that's coming up in July. Jason, in Los Angeles, have you guys ever had a hurricane during hurricane start June 1st and then in November? Has California seen any hurricane winds? Never. But we did have the remnants of a tropical storm. It was either last summer or the summer before. It's on my YouTube channel because we had an earthquake the same day. It was the wildest day ever. We had remnants of a tropical storm, and the hurricane and the tropical storm broke up over Baja, California, but we did have remnants. It was the closest thing we've ever had, and there was a pretty substantial earthquake on the same day. So that's a yes. Well, not to hurricanes, but to something close. Maggie, damn autocorrect. Andy Bennis. Okay, I know who Andy Bennis is. So let's read that again. Maggie, Cardinals Evansville, home of New York Yankee Don Mattingly. Yeah, he was once the manager of the Dodgers. And Cardinal Andy Bennis. Yeah, I've got a Cardinals shirt that I'm getting ready to put up, a jersey, because my mom was a Cardinals fan. But I've got a really nice, rare Cardinals jersey that I'm getting ready to list. He does, but just email him. It might be lost or he didn't put enough on postage. That's happened too. He will get it to you. You know what? I wonder, seriously, Donna, I wonder if he's upset with me because I've, joked around with him and I've actually sent him super chats like, here's some money for my postage. Like maybe he's pissed at me. And so he's just like, well, you know what? Screw her. And I'm not going to send her a prize because there's no excuse to have a giveaway, a draw on May 10th, and it's almost July, and it still hasn't arrived. And I guarantee you that if it ever arrives, it won't be what I won. It'll be something else. And I'll be happy with it because it's free. But, I always try to be supportive, especially to the smaller YouTubers. But at this point, the fact that he told everybody, like, hey, I'm really sorry and I messed up and this is the day that we're going to set aside. We're going to take a day off just to get all this handled. And then he got snippy with me that, he couldn't send it that day because, I guess he couldn't drive to the post office on Saturday too, that he couldn't do it till Thursday. And that's fine. Like, I don't care if it comes 6 months from now, but I feel like the audience is just getting the runaround at this point. And maybe, he thinks I've overstepped my boundaries and I've said something that pissed him off. And I didn't mean to because I really like the guy and I miss him being on Whatnot because I used to buy stuff from him on Whatnot. Even when I would get the wrong items, I still always supported him because I think he's a cool dude. But I don't know. I'm just not gonna watch for a while because I think he's upset with me. Nathan says he agrees with me 100% on the baseball. Thank you. You have Salvador Perez. Is that Kansas City Royals? Because I don't know who he is. Margaret, earthquakes. Yeah, we had a big one in LA, or not LA, in the Bay Area yesterday, and 2 major ones in Venezuela. And they're thinking tens of thousands of people may be missing or dead. And then there was a bigger one in Japan. But Japan is more prepared. How do I find Amazon order for April? Says Kathy. Oh, you just go to the main channel page. Just click my icon. It'll take you to my main YouTube page, and you'll go to the channel description, and all the links will be there. And that's where you guys can also join the Whatnot and get your 15 free dollars. So when I eventually do get the right stickers, hopefully the second company involved in this hasn't messed anything up. I used to use Sticker Mule. For any of you YouTubers out there, Sticker Mule was a great place to order stickers from. They were very expensive, but they came quickly and they were always perfect. But then that company, they got really big and the owner decided to cash in on that and he sold it. And whoever bought it started sending out emails that were very political. And all the YouTubers were like, and all the resellers were like, oh, we can't use Sticker Mule anymore because, somebody that most of us aren't politically aligned to took over that company. So Now it's been a hard thing just to find somebody who can make stickers. Jason Bender, hello, Wisconsin. They said on the news that it's the anniversary of the son of Sam, summer of 78. When does German Shepherds talk to him and told him to kill men and women with blonde hair? Oh, I was kind of a little kid when the son of Sam was around, but I do remember that. Kelser says, yeah, that's right. Yeah, I don't know a lot about the Royals, except I used to follow it when Zach Greinke was pitching, but he's retired now. Donna says, no, he doesn't get mad, and I get it. He's had my things from Whatnot. It was refunded to me, but he's holding it till we get Nick's rings from 3D Woodward is making, so I'll get mine when both rings are done. Yeah, if it was really mailed when he said it was mailed just from Seattle to Los Angeles, it would have got here by now. And I also have informed delivery on my home address. Now, he could have sent it to the wrong address because he's ignoring my emails. I've also tried, at one time he asked for a phone number, and then I didn't get to that right away, and I've asked him, and he's like, oh yeah, I'll get to that, and I'll write you back. And, I'm getting shut out. I think he's beyond pissed with me. And, I'm on disability. I'm on a limited income. And even though you guys have been so generous to me here and I'm making a little bit more money than I was before, I can't do anything work-wise anymore. And I'm not surviving. And so for me to like throw those super chats out and to throw those jewels out that I've paid for and to just get, I really think he's upset with me. And I hope I'm wrong, but I think he's upset with me. And at this point, I don't know if I even want my gift anymore. You know, it could be construed as fraud at this point. I just, I don't think he meant it that way. I think he has a good heart and he's a good man, but I think he's pissed. And I just can't go into that show night after night after night when I'm so busy doing my own show and my own life. And, yesterday I didn't even eat until 8 o'clock. I'm just, people have no idea how much YouTube takes up your time. And this guy, he's got a full-time job on top of it and 3 kids that he has part-time custody of. So his plate is overflowing. I understand that. But I've been told many times that it was in the mail and then it hadn't been mailed and it would be mailed and then it is mailed. And, I know the post office is really screwed up right now, but what I won is about the size of a coupon. It would fit in a first class envelope with a stamp on it. And that's why he can't do Whatnot, because of his shipping. Yeah, and he would always try to give me advice, telling me to do penny auctions so I could get to 1,000 sales, not $1,000, but 1,000 sales, and then I would get money right away. And I'm like, I'll do my Whatnot how I want to. And the guy that's given that kind of advice, he's the one who gets his Whatnot taken up, And that's really hurt him because he was doing very well with that. He was very good at it. He just, he couldn't do it on the back end. I don't know, maybe he's got ADHD and that kind of stuff maybe it's just hard for him. I've got my mojo. Hello, welcome back. But thank you to the rest of the chat who had to listen to all this. I'm still not seeing the emojis from Kathy Doherty, and I know she's trying to send them. Thank you, Kathy. It just says dash pumpkin semicolon. Is anybody else seeing Kathy's emojis? It's a YouTube issue, Kathy, I'm sure. Good night, Kathy. Yeah, Donna, I think he's just pissed at me or something. And I really like the guy. I do. That's why I support him. Even when I should be like in bed at night, I'll be up like, oh, Todd's on. Let me go check him out for a few minutes. Let me throw him a super chat or throw him a membership and I don't do that with many people, but I really like the guy. And I really miss that he's not on Whatnot. And he won't tell me why, but I know that he did something and they took his account away. I know they zapped him. He blew it. But, if he treats the rest of his audience like he has treated my situation, it's going to hurt him in the end. And I just, because somebody's going to get mad. Someone who's not as friendly as myself or you is going to get mad, and they're going to drop a dime on him to YouTube and say, hey, this guy's doing contests and he's promising things to people and they're not getting them. And, I would hate to see his YouTube channel get taken down, because they'll take you down for something that you're not even guilty of, and say that you're doing fine and we're so proud of you, and, you're gaining momentum and you're gaining viewers, and all of a sudden, boom, they've nailed you. So, I don't know. You might know them better than I do, Donna, but I'm just kind of done with it. Now, I could go over to my mailbox in a couple of days in Studio City and find out that it's there instead, that he just sent it to the mailing address rather than the address that he told me to send me an email and give me. He's one of the few people out here that has my home address. Hardly anybody has my home address. That's why I'm paying the pickup fees at the mailbox for the nice gifts that people are sending, because I can't just have, there could be one bad egg in this group that could be after me, especially me being a PI. So you never know who's going to be stalking out there. So I go to that extra expense of having that mailbox, but he's one of the few people in the gold community that there was quite a few people in the gold community that have my address. But I don't know what to think anymore, Donna. I'm just kind of done with it at this point. And I know that when I get it, it's not going to be what I want. It'll be something else, but I'll be like, okay, whatever. At the amount of money that I've thrown at him in the super chats, I could have just, gone on to eBay or some other, whatnot, and just ordered one myself. I would have paid for it probably 10 times over by now. The end is near. Okay, we don't talk about religion here. Kelsers, do you remember when they were crawling all over Nancy's roof? Yes. Apparently she had a camera up there that the police didn't find the first time around, and a neighbor reported it, and then the FBI went up there and they took it, if that's what you're talking about. Good night, Jane. Well, if that's the case, he'd be pissed at me and St. Nick, because we would ask every night. Well, you haven't gotten your package yet either, have you, Donna? Might be better he has don't that. Okay, I'm not sure. Yeah, like I don't know. I really like the guy and I want to give him the benefit of the doubt, but he didn't send the stuff that I want on Whatnot either sometimes, and I never said a word. But to be trying to bring people in and saying, hey, if we get 35 people in the house tonight, we're gonna do a random picker, and then you win, and then you never get your prize. That's, that could be construed as fraud. And I don't think he's committing fraud intentionally, but he seems, I could just hear the tone in his voice when I joke about it, that he seems kind of PO'd. I don't have any answers at this point, and I'm done with it. And then you'll probably wonder, like, oh, I haven't seen April in the chat. I wonder what's happened to April. No waiting on Nick's ring. He finally omitted it. Yeah, I don't know who Nick is, but it's a time suck for me at this point. There's only 24 hours in my day. But I do like to support the smaller YouTubers, because it's the smaller YouTubers who need it more than us, more than the big YouTubers that have like 500,000 people. Like somebody like a JLR who's a convicted felon, but he's making a mint on YouTube. He doesn't need my support. And I like his boots on the ground coverage. I really enjoyed that video he did on the recreation of the crime. That was excellent. St. Nick in the chat, we have same address. Yeah, I didn't know who that was. But yeah, I'm done. And the reason I'm talking about it here is I'm not trying to publicly disparage anybody. I didn't mean it that way, but you came into my chat, Donna, and I see you almost every night in his chat. So, I thought maybe you could give me some insight and, let me know if you've received your package. And apparently you haven't. At this point, we can't blame the postal system anymore. And, if he finally got bit in the behind from whatnot, it's only going to be a matter of time before YouTube is going to come down. And it won't be me, because I'm not that kind of a person. I don't have time. I'm not petty like that. But somebody's going to get, somebody who is just some random person who has no vested interest in him is going to get burned. And, they're going to say something, and, YouTube is going to start checking. Oh. Bush Bean. Hello. Where are you coming in from, Bush? Are you related to Bush's beans? They used to have the cutest commercials with the golden retriever. So yeah, Donna, let me know. You've got my email address, aprildavispi@gmail. Let me know if you ever receive your package. Kelser's going to head out. Thank you for coming, Kelsers. Yeah, I don't dislike JLR, but I am a private investigator who's fought, 42 years for the sake of justice. And so I kind of have a problem with people that are convicted felons and professional plaintiffs, but I do enjoy some of his coverage, no matter what his motives may be. He's very successful at it. He's very successful at it. He's busted his behind with the being boots on the ground, no matter what his intentions are. He's done a good job. And I'm supportive of anybody that's reporting on this case. It doesn't seem like anybody wants to find Nancy anymore. You even got to question the Guthrie family at this point. Like, do you even want to find your mother at this point, or have you already just put it behind you? Like, and I know Savannah, she's suffering every single day. And I'm sure the FBI, they're telling her, like, hey, don't say anything, don't say too much. And I love Ryan Inton, too. You're from West Tennessee. I'm in Los Angeles, California. Although my green screen is from Tucson because I got Nancy Guthrie's house in the background. So yeah, if you didn't come in at the beginning, go rewatch this when this uploads. God forbid that YouTube actually uploads it, because they're having their issues, it seems, a lot lately. But it's basically about Savannah Guthrie is worried about the monsters who took her missing mom. And I've been worried about it from day one, because it looked like this thing, whatever this crime was meant to be, it was a colossal failure and nobody got paid. And, depending on who's involved and the motives and the reason they did this crime to begin with, that could still put people at risk. And I'm sure Savannah's aware of that. And, she's upped her security. But this needs to get solved. This needs to get solved. All this needs to get straightened out. There's still so much of a mess. Look at the house. It's just sitting there empty, What about the house? And what about her bills and her taxes and her Social Security? Everything is a mess right now. Everything is stuck until this is solved one way or the other. This is just a colossal mess, and it's very stressful. Even for me, and I don't know the Guthrie family. I've never met Savannah. I've never met Nancy. I didn't even know who Nancy was, because I hadn't seen the Today Show in years. I didn't know that Savannah was featuring her sweet mom on the show. And maybe that, in hindsight, maybe that wasn't such a good thing to do. Bushbean says, I'm a senior myself, and it's frightening that it is an elderly person. It is frightening. I think about it at night, especially me being a PI who's put many people away over the years. Even though I'm not a cop, I have put people away, and there are sickos out there. Heck, for years, me and my ex-boyfriend from years ago, we had a neighbor that we knew in the 80s that started semi-stalking us. We hadn't heard from her since maybe the mid to late 90s. Can't even remember the last time we saw her. She was just some neighbor. And the last few years, I know one time happened right after my dear friend Kelsa Kinsley passed. Something happened. And since then, either 2025 or 2026, I can't remember, I started getting some weird phone calls. And it turned out it was her. And when she said her name, I didn't even remember. I'm like, who's that? Like I don't know anybody by that name. It was so like far in the past. And I'm like, oh my God, am I being stalked? Like this is scary. I hope not. I think sometimes he forgets me and St. Nick. We talk and text him quite often. Well, he was supposed to have given me his number. But see, that's another thing. He wanted my number, and then I reached out for his number, and he didn't get back to me. Like, something's wrong. And I have nothing to do with his whatnot mess. I never reported him. Is Nancy related to Arlo Guthrie? No. Oh, wow, you're going to be on a train? That's so cool. That would be fun. I've been on a train before when I was a little kid. Yeah, I don't, I'll tell you, Donna, if I get my package, I'll be the first to tell you. Guess what, Donna? I got my package. But no, not expecting it. And I'm done. And, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But at this point, it's ridiculous. He needs to rethink the way he does his channel if he has this many problems. I would never, have a contest with my audience and promise my audience something and then not come through with it. I would lose my YouTube channel in a week if I did something like that. That's why there will never be, even if I get StreamYard, there will never be a contest or a random draw, or there'll just never be, because it just opens too much liability that somebody could report you and say, oh, I won and I never got my stuff. And I will never do that. And if somebody wants to, buy a sticker, I still have the old ones on Whatnot. I'll have the new ones hopefully by next week, and I'll put them up on Whatnot and eBay. And if someone says, no, I just want to buy it from you directly, they're not going to be able to, because then somebody will say, oh, I sent money and I never got it. So that's why, even if I lose sticker sales, you can go through Whatnot or you can go through eBay when I get them. And that's the only way I'm going to do it, because I'm not going to open them up myself to the liability where some, troll comes in and goes, I never got my sticker, Oh, I don't know, Donna. I've given up. But everybody, thank you for coming. This is regarding Savannah. I know we got off track here, but my friend Donna McCoy came in, and she's been a big channel supporter, and I usually see her every night over on the Humble Stacker, but I guess I won't be seeing you there anymore. So make sure you come visit me, Donna, because I'm just kind of done with it. Like even if I get it now, I just kind of don't give a fuck. Excuse my language. I shouldn't have said that. I'm just upset, people. Like, I thought he was a friend. I've always supported him, and I really can't afford to be handing out, free money to anybody. But, I just wanted to help him out, and, it's never going to happen. Now, could it have gone to the other address? Maybe. Could be sitting there now, and I'll eat my words. But at this point, it's beyond ridiculous. I have been to Walt Disney World in Florida, but not since I was a child, Jason. because I used to live next door to Florida. Now, Disney World wasn't exactly close. It was about a day's drive. But yeah, been there twice when I was a child, and don't even know how many times I've been to Disneyland, but I haven't been there since the 90s, and it's, not far down the road. What, 40 miles, 50 miles, 45 miles? It's not far from me. Now, in traffic, it could be 4 hours. It used to be 45 minutes. And I'm too old now. Anyway, with my disability, I couldn't even make it from the parking lot to the front gate anymore. Oh, your daughter worked at Disney World. Yeah, it's nice, but it sure is hot in the summertime, isn't it? And Anaheim's usually pretty nice in the summer. It's cool. Yeah, I liked it too. I'm more connected to Disney through my work, even though I've never worked for them directly, but I've worked on a lot of their shows. I've done quite a few jobs on their lot. But I'm not a Disney employee. This was a free hat that was gifted to me by someone on one of the local neighborhood apps. A lady in the Hollywood Hills. And it was brand new. It still had the insert inside and everything, and I really like it. But it's not as comfortable as my Rally Roots hat, because that's just more broken in because it's older. But I wear it here because a lot of people like it. It is kind of cute. And it's got really nice embroidery on it. It's really nice. Disneyland is great during Halloween. That's what I hear. But so is Universal, which is a mile down the street, and I've never been to their Halloween Horror Nights. And at my age, that's just, that's beyond ever happening. It's funny, I still love LA and I can't imagine living anywhere else, but does it really matter at this point because I don't really get out much? But I still feel like, it's my home. Don't desire to go anywhere else. But there's a lot of nice places. A lot of you guys live in nice places. It would be kind of nice to live somewhere again where there was weather. Not just summer and flu season, but actual change of climates. I'd love to live in a place like that had change of climates, that had, summer, fall, winter, spring. That would be cool. We had a little bit more of that when we moved to the East Coast. That was fun. Oh, Wisconsin would be too cold for me. Too cold. Yeah, I can't do cold weather. I don't even own a pair of pants. Skirts and shorts, I'm like, shorts and t-shirts and baseball jerseys. I'd never do well in Alaska because I don't own pants or boots. Dallas, too hot. Here there are 2 seasons, winter and construction. Where are you located, Donna? I don't remember. I'm sure you've told me. Is it Illinois, right? That sounds like Alaska, winter and in construction. Illinois. That's what I thought. Yeah, that's where my whole family's from, except for me. And they're not from Chicago. They're from Illinois. Don't move to Tornado Alley. Never. Been through a lot of that as a kid. I never lived in Tornado Alley, but I did live in a state for many years that had tornadoes and hurricanes and tropical storms and tropical depressions. And I would never do that again. Never, ever, ever. But it would be nice to see some rain or the occasional thunderstorm, which so rare. Very rare. But I kind of, you get used to perfect weather. Now we're getting into our sus time, where in the next few months it could be kind of icky here. We're in the middle of an El Nino right now, so we're actually supposed to have a huge amount of rain. But I'll believe that when I see it. This may be the fall or winter that California floats away. Tired of all the rain. Yeah, I've heard there's a lot of storms in the Midwest. Yeah, I've got a cousin that lives in Oklahoma, and I'm sure he's been at like tornado risk, as has Illinois. Because I have another like former cousin-in-law that lives in Illinois, and there's been like tornadoes in her town. That's scary. I hope she has a basement. I just couldn't deal with that at all. But people that live in those places, they don't usually have a problem with it at all. They can handle it. But you know, California, we're supposed to have a catastrophic earthquake this week, and it hasn't happened. You know, according to the internet, you know. Had tornado warnings the other day. Ooh. Oh, in Wisconsin? Yeah, it's just kind of scary. Yes, Renee says the cool down period is nice after a thunderstorm, but here in Mississippi it stays pretty humid. Yeah, my dad worked in Mississippi for about 12 years, and we lived in southern Alabama, and not my kind of weather. Beautiful place, though. Streeter had 2 a week ago, which is 20 minutes south. Ooh. Are you in central Illinois, Donna, or southern Illinois? My parents were like central Illinois. But my parents hadn't like lived there since they got married. They moved out of there as soon as they got married. Off of 80 in Ottawa. Okay. Oh yeah, you've told me that before. And I was like, oh, Ottawa, Canada? Like, no, Ottawa, Illinois. Okay. I'll look that up tonight. Great for your garden raining, yeah. Yeah, we had a garden when I lived in the South. It was fun. We did it every year in the backyard. It was really fun. I'm, you know, in a concrete jungle here. No garden, sadly. I'd love to have a garden. Even if it was just little. Just something to do at this point. But, you know, I'm pretty busy with YouTube and just trying to stay alive and take care of my animals that are my entire world. And thank you for the lady that was here earlier that says she sent me these. These are coming. This is an empty one. I've had it sitting on my desk empty for like 6 months. So that was perfect. I can't wait. Because they're only like 1.7 ounce bottles, so Neutrogena, they don't make the medium-sized bottle anymore of the moisturizer. So it's like, oh, I can't wait. But hey, I'm going to get off the air, and I think I've got 1 turkey burger left, and I'll cook that up for dinner tonight, and then tomorrow we'll worry about tomorrow. Maybe I'll go make myself a fruit smoothie today. I gotta do something to get me some energy, people. I still just I'm so wiped out. I just need a little boost. I get my boost at night after I get hydrated and get some food in my body. Then I get a little boost. But then before you know it, it's time to go to bed and start this all over again. But hey, I'll keep you guys informed. If anything breaks in Nancy Guthrie, would always come back on the air, but I really don't expect it to. And hopefully these rumors that they're close to arresting somebody, especially like Front Porch Guy, I hope that's true. And if the guy that I think is Front Porch Guy or is involved and it turns out that he's not involved at all, then I apologize. Oh, thank you, Donna. She says, I have something I made for you, but still haven't had it blessed, but I'll let you know. Well, thank you. Yeah, and let me know, Donna, at my email, aprildavispi@gmail, if you hear anything on the situation from Todd. Like, you know, if a little birdie puts something into your ear, you've got some inside information, let me know. Because it just gives me a bad feeling at this point. It's just like, I don't understand. I've already made all the excuses for him that I can make, and at this point, I don't get it. Focus on eating protein for energy. Thank you, Leanne. Especially when he comes on every night and shows his, oh, this is what I bought this week. And, look at this. I got this. I bought this. I sent this. And, I've probably paid for my prize 10 times over with memberships, super chats, jewels. Here's some more postage money, dude. What is that thing worth? $3? And I paid for it $20. I could have bought, 5 or 10 of them myself on eBay or whatnot. Like, it's just not worth my time anymore. I just think I've done something wrong. I've pissed him off. I didn't mean to. I apologize, Todd, if you're watching this, but don't get it anymore. Don't need your phone number. Don't worry about not responding to any of my emails. Just screw it. Doesn't matter anymore. But yeah, if you hear something, Donna, let me know. And let me know if you ever get, your package. A lot going on in the world, distracting. Yep. Well, let's just, say a prayer for Nancy Guthrie and hashtag justice for Nancy. Thank you for coming, everybody.